Congratulations on another exclusive when it comes to the White House and housing affordability just this week. What can you tell us? What are these possible antitrust concerns?
Well, the thing that, one thing that's caught the eye of administration officials is a trade group and they're concerned that, our home builders coordinating through the trade group. And that's a thing that's been raised, at least internally. I think that's a common concern about trade groups across industries.
Coordinating how?
Well, you're not supposed to talk about
anything.
We're going to set our prices in this way, and you're not supposed to tell your competitors how you're setting prices, and I think it's a concern that can come up, which is like you have this trade group where everyone is getting together and talking to each other, or they're talking to some centralized person in the trade group, and information gets disseminated. And this would not be. I'm not an antitrust expert, but my understanding is that this would not be the first time that there was a probe of a trade group or some centralized body.
The leading builders of America is the trade group. What have they said? What have the homebuilders come out and said after this?
They haven't responded. They're keeping their heads down right now, or so it seems. I think, all this goes back to October when the president put out on a social media post that home builders are, he likened them to OPEC and complained that builders are sitting on more lots than ever. And, I think this is, if you go back to the story earlier this week about the builders' pitch for a Trump Homes project, in a way, that's like trying to get on the administration's good side in hopes that, they're not on the bad side. And this is kind of what the bad side might look like.
Just last question. Kudos to you. Two exclusives in terms of what the White House is working on housing affordability. Having said that, they are said to be trying to do anything. Is there any progress, any really move forward in terms of being able to make homes more affordable? Some would say there are different issues at play in order to making this work. But in terms of what the White House might be able to do.
Listen, I think this is where we are on home prices. It took 15 years to get to this point. It took a pandemic, to get there in the end of an interest rate environment that had been in place for a decade or so. So, I don't think the standard should be getting to, a solution overnight. But
yeah.
It's in those, something is going to, people are talking about things. What happens, I don't know.
Is it really a priority for the White House? Just quickly.
Seems like it.